evening.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Laney. I'm the project architect. I'm joined by my colleague, architect Paul Choi. We're joined also by the owner's representative here with us. We'll be available, of course, for any questions. Of course, we want to thank the commissioners for their time. We want to thank the staff for all the work that they put into preparing. We just finished an updated architectural model, which we can pass around, that gives you an idea about the scale and the architectural elements of the project. This is updated to reflect the latest design. We've taken into consideration comments that we received from our neighborhood meeting, as well as lots of communication with the staff to update multiple parts of the project. I'll just make one comment. We think this is a special project. It's my personal goal that the design of this project fall in alignment with the goals of the Carson Street corridor. We're only 400 feet south, and it's just my goal that we design it to be not only compatible with the neighborhood, but something that does celebrate a project that is truly transit-oriented, being so close to both the freeway and the Silver Line, as well as being truly pedestrian-friendly. Residents can certainly walk to all that's happening in the Carson Street corridor. Again, we'll be available for any questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Thomas?
I do. I see that there is an 1,800 square foot landscaped area. I believe that is the roof. Am I correct?
Yes, part of it is in the roof, and also part of it is in the front area where we've added a public seating area.
So can I see some idea of what that public seating area is? Because it's my understanding that this is what we're supposed to be receiving as the city in exchange for doubling of the density for this particular project. And to me, I don't have a problem with your project. I have a problem with doubling the density for nothing in terms of what we're supposed to be receiving back from the city. And that's my comment to staff as well as you guys, because at the end of the day, you're doubling the density. We are 18 units per acre. You're talking about doubling it to 41 units an acre. And what we are receiving per the staff report is a piece of public art and 1,800 square feet of landscaped area. I personally believe that's inadequate in terms of the exchange for an additional 16 condos to be sold. I have to imagine that the average price is $300,000 or more, and so I'm concerned about that. That's one. Two, from my review of, and I haven't looked at this most recent wonderful 3D model, but 9 of the 32 units face the 110 freeway. And Carson Municipal Code 9128.15 says that you must provide open space. We have 28% of your units, if my calculations are correct, that do not have open space. And so to me, I need to understand how Carson Municipal Code now all of a sudden says, well, but if you're off the freeway, you don't have to do that. So to me, again, if you want us to vote on this, you can. But I just want the staff to help me understand how we are doubling the density for peanuts.
Certainly hear your concerns, and I can. I will give a brief response. I'll certainly need to team up with the staff because you've respectfully addressed it to both of us. Mm-hmm. We fully do acknowledge the increase in density, and we're not trying to cover that up. We're not trying to make it any form of an unfair trade. When we look at the location of this property and the proximity of the property to the Carson Street corridor, and the fact that we believe it's the city's desire that the West Carson specific plan celebrate increased density, mixed units, and a more, quote, urban development, we see this project as a spearhead that moves us in that direction. I acknowledge that if that is not the city's intent, that this project would not be approved, and that would be bad news, but I would have to accept that. In our discussions with the staff, we've come to the understanding that this project does move the direction that the city wishes to go. There are respectfully more that the project is providing than a small piece of landscape. There are development-based fees that are not insignificant. I acknowledge you're shaking your head, and so I'll probably need to team up with the staff to respond to that piece. So I acknowledge the increased density. Yes,
The
sir.
development fees are going to be there regardless.
Understood.
So you can't cite that as something you're giving us in addition for the density. Okay. What am I looking for? I'll be clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Low income set asides.
Got it.
That's typically what's a part of this exchange, or a funding of significant, shall I say, in lieu of fees that any other city would be asking for. And for you to sit here and act like you don't know what I'm talking about is troubling to me. Okay, so at this point, I just want to be very clear that when we double the zoning, typically cities are asking for set asides, i.e., for our other goals, which is making our communities a little bit more inclusive. And so what you are looking at right now is a market rate project for 32 units. And if you want to come in with a market rate project, then don't ask us to, play with the density.
Understood.
Madam Chair.